It's too loud! I need to wait till the train's gone. Welcome to Operation Mincemeat, the squeakquel. Well, are you excited?
Maybe.
So, as you know, we rebooked Operation Mincemeat. It should be on tonight. So, yay! And we also got rush tickets to Disney's Hercules at Theatre Royal Drury Lane. It's my favourite Disney movie. I haven't heard fantastic things about the stage show. I know a couple people in it. Trevor Dion Nicholas is actually playing Phil, which is kind of like my only positive going into this. I've heard that it's interesting. I've heard that it's a bit cheap for a Disney show if you consider shit like Frozen, The Lion King, Newsies, stuff like that. Why are you doing this to me?
I don't know.
He's taking a photo of me with like a... Why? Why did you do that?
Because it's funny.
It's not funny.
Oh, look at you though. You look happy.
I look very... That was my headshots that Will took for me the other day. Because your boy's gonna be a theatre tech one day. Not today, but one day. So yeah, we've got Hercules and Operation Mincemeat today. Hopefully everything goes smoothly and we have no issues. He's doing it again. Will! It's been a hot second since I've been in the Theatre Royal, and this venue is gorgeous. We were K19 and 20 of the Royal Circle. The overhang wasn't actually that much of an issue, and these seats were great. Will have seen Act 1. You may know that I had some trepidations going into this. It's fun. That's all I'm really gonna say. The thing I'm gonna point out is I think I would enjoy it better if it was an adaptation and Disney's big fat name wasn't on the cover. That's just my thoughts. I personally think they changed too much. Funny anecdote, by the way. When I said Will doesn't like Hercules, the movie, he got it confused with Emperor's New Groove. I'm still judging him for not liking Emperor's New Groove, but he got the stories confused. How do you get those two mixed up? I guess you could in some world, but that was hilarious to discover. So he actually does like the movie Hercules. I think it's okay. I wouldn't give it like a perfect like 5-star rating. So far, obviously I haven't seen Act 2, so I don't want to make like too big a judgment already. The performances are great, the costumes are hit or miss, the set is hit or miss. I feel like it's very stylized. I feel like it's stylized, and hear me out, to the Greek time period in the way that Bridgerton is stylized to the Regency period, if that makes any lick of sense. The new songs are good though. I liked Hades' little jazz tap number. But yeah, I think they've changed too much and they've butchered their own material. But I'm having fun. My mind is just thinking of it as a fun adaptation. The muses are great, all of the performances are phenomenal. I just can't wrap my head around the material and the name, honestly. But I'm sure I'll have a good time in Act 2. It's not my favourite Disney show. My favourite Disney show is The Lion King. Second favourite, probably Frozen, which I saw here. But I'm gonna head back in, watch Act 2, and I'll definitely talk more about it because I think it deserves some praise because it is good. It's just not what I expected, I guess. I mean, kind of, but yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm gonna head back to Will now because he's probably missing me. But I'm just glad that our squeakquel anniversary, I keep calling it the squeakquel because of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I'm just glad our second attempt at our theatre anniversary is going better. Although we did enjoy Starlight Express. So we're inside. One of my favourite things about this theatre is that they open at 6 because it is so small and compact. That's kind of my one complaint about this theatre, is that it's tiny, which means everything inside of it is tiny. And you might think, Elliot, you're like 5'2", you should be fine. You'd be mistaken. No. Anyway, so we have a great cast today. We have Jerry Allen as Johnny Bevan, and we also have Madeline as Monty. I haven't seen her in a while. Will's trying to distract me. I haven't seen her on in a while, and then this is the cast board. The other three I have never seen before, so this is gonna be a good time. Can't wait to see Maddie and Monty again, and... what? Will, are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay. We're sat upstairs. I'll show you that view in a second, which Will's gonna take the piss out of me for. And I'll see you afterwards. In the interval.
Did you mean to take a video?
I did. Are you happy that the show's going ahead this time?
Maybe don't say that. Maybe let's not curse it.
Thank you.
Touch wood.
Yes.
So we made it to our seats. We were C, 17 and 18 of the upper circle. Not terrible unless there's someone tall sat in front of you. The people in front of us did leave in the interval though, so great view.
Happy belated anniversary, right?
Yeah. Let's hope the tech works this time.
It wasn't even tech last time. Like 2 cast members were in hospital.
Let's hope the tech works.
Wow, I am so sorry with how abruptly that cut off. Now you might be wondering where I am. I'm at my parents' house right now because I'm over for my brother's birthday. That was yesterday, it was such a great day. But I'm filming this now because otherwise I will not get this video out when I need to. So, you're getting this backdrop today, and if you're wondering where my glasses are, I've had to start this recording again because the window that's at the front of my room is it's glaring right into the lenses. So I just thought, let's take them off and I'll survive. So in this review today, I'm going to be talking about Disney's Hercules and the new cast members I saw in Operation Mincemeat. So I'm going to start with Hercules. Now I do want to disclaim before I begin my review on Disney's Hercules that nothing negative is due to the fault of the actor. Nothing I'm going to say is the performer's fault. The performances were honestly some of the strongest I've seen, and everyone's energy was amazing, and it was all 100%, like, everyone gave it their all. It was a really fun show. I'm just questioning the creative decisions for the show, which isn't at the actor's discretion. So any complaints I make is not because they were bad, it's because the production was interesting. We'll get into it, but I've already kind of described why it's a little bit iffy for me. It's quite a bold departure from the source material, and when you consider that it is Disney who has made this show, it makes you question why they did that if they're making a show to appeal to the people that love the movie. I love the movie. It's pretty much almost, at the very least, a monthly watch for me. I absolutely love it. So I had high hopes. Like I said, I was a little bit skeptical. I had high hopes. I did have fun at this show. But some of the creative decisions, some of the directions they went in, it just didn't suit the vibe. So I'm going to get into that. So first things first, the first person I do want to talk about is Stephen Carlisle, who played Hades. So a fun fact about Stephen is that he has played Scar on Broadway and I believe maybe the West End in The Lion King, so he has worked with Disney before and he's also played villains before. And honestly, I could see him fitting the role of Scar. He was very, very Disney villain-y. As we know, Hades is the ruler of the underworld and he is also Zeus's brother, so he is extremely jealous in the way that he carries himself. He's the kind of whiny younger brother that I certainly have, but he's very whiny, brooding, intimidating, but he's also incredibly funny, and his comedic timing, like I said, I really loved that added song with his little jazz tap number. That was really fun, but his comedic timing and his delivery, I had no issues with, and that cape, my only issue with his costume. Why is it red? They could have easily done a blue costume and had some sort of red lighting or just something to pay homage to Hades' fire hair in the animation. I don't know why they didn't do that. But again, that's not a fault of the actor, that's just my commentary on the costume. Stephen was actually really fun in this role and I absolutely loved how he played the character. Now going on to the pantomime-esque aspect of this show. Stephen played Hades as if he was playing the villain in a pantomime. I didn't know whether to boo him in the curtain call or cheer him as you would anyone at the end of a normal show. It felt like the audience didn't either. Honestly, I think I said this in my interval commentary. Had this been a pantomime, it would have been fantastic. I would have loved it so much more if this was a pantomime style show, but it's not, and I feel like that's where it kind of falls a bit flat. If they encouraged that audience participation and honestly just like the costumes, the songs, the vibe, the acting, the way it was all very over the top, I feel like it was made to be a pantomime. But I digress. Stephen was incredible and I absolutely loved him. He was hilarious. Probably got the most laughs out of me. Now, speaking of Hades, as you know in the movie, as you may know, sorry, if you haven't seen the movie, Hades has these two goon sidekick characters called Pain and Panic. They're these little gremlins in the movie. Tell me why the musical version made Bob and Charles. I had heard about this change when the cast announcements initially came out when it first opened, and this was my first sort of, not red flag, but sort of a why did they do that? So Bob and Charles were played by Craig Gallivan and Lee Zarrett. Honestly, these two were really fun. They had the perfect amount of comedic timing and their on-stage presence with Hades was just hilarious. Like, they carried the comedy of the show so well. And honestly, just their energy on stage was phenomenal. I just really do not understand why they changed that. The Lion King, and I will refer back to this again when I talk about Phil, the Lion King can turn people into lions, elephants, rhinos, hyenas, giraffes, antelope, and you can't make two humans into these demon monsters for a 2-hour production. This Hercules had great puppetry for the other animals and the creatures and the monsters that he was fighting. The puppetry was really great, and I'm just wondering why you can't do that for these two actors. I don't understand the creative decision for that. Anyway, those two performers were great, so we're gonna move on to the Muses and Meg. Honestly, the Muses are my favourite part of the original movie. They're just so high energy and sassy, and I love all their song bites, and just everything they get to do is just so fun, and these women were phenomenal. All of them, such high energy, great vocals, great stage presence. They were so good, and they had all these comedic bits and they had their own little quirks for each of their characters, and yeah, they were just really fun, and their costumes and their wigs were just amazing. And our Meg was played by May-Ann Gerolin. I love Meg as a character. She's so sassy and flirtatious, and she's bold and strong and independent, and I will just say that May killed the voice for Meg. Like, she was so good. I felt like she had just stepped off of the movie screen. Meg is such an iconic character in the original Hercules, and she truly brought her to life. Obviously, the major highlight for all of these female performers is the song I Won't Say I'm in Love. It's tragic, it's heartbreaking, it's funky, it's quirky, and all of them absolutely killed it on that stage. I really loved her, her voice was amazing, and I just loved her relationship with Hades and Hercules, and it was very consistent, her performance, and I really loved her. We're next going to move on to Ope Sawande, who played Phil. He's actually the cover of Phil, and I really enjoyed his performance. Again, high energy, he was great at the comedy, and he just owned the stage whenever he was on it. And, you know, he's Hercules' trainer in the original movie, and he's not a human. He very clearly has goat legs. How hard is it? I'm saying this again. How hard is it to just put goat legs on this performer? I know Disney is capable of this. Like, the Sven puppet they made for Frozen is phenomenal. It's literally just the legs of Sven. Anyway, Ope was great. I really loved him, and his relationship with Hercules was hilarious. But I'm missing him as the grumpy old man that Danny DeVito made him. I feel like he was just a bit too young for the character. And obviously this isn't a fault of the actor. Like I said, he was incredible. I just don't understand, again, the creative decision to change these sort of things. He felt more just like Hercules' fitness instructor, but his own songs were very entertaining, and it was very much giving Goldie Wilson's Gotta Start Somewhere from Back to the Future. He was very swingy, very jazzy. I really loved his performance, and he was one of the funnest characters in the show. But yeah, loved the performer. I just miss the authenticity to the movie. And finally, we're going to move on to the title character of Hercules, played by Luke Brady. I really loved him, and, you know, Hercules starts off as this very small, very timid boy who just wants to help out, you know, and everyone in the town makes him an outcast because he's just so different from them, and I get that. And I really loved his contrast in acting from being that timid young boy to growing up and being the god that his parents need him to be. And I could be wrong about this next part, and this might just be something that was eating into my psyche a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he did some vocal work between being that timid young boy to being this strong-willed man who can take down a monster. His voice was more rich and deep and mature the more he aged throughout the show. And again, this might just be me imagining this, but if he did, that is an amazing character choice. I will say, Go the Distance did bring a tear to my eye. Like, his performance of that was phenomenal. His relationship with Meg is pretty much the same as it is in the movie. She's this damsel in distress, and he completely falls head over heels for her. The one thing I will say, and again, no fault of the performers, the ending and the build-up to their romance was incredibly rushed. To the point where, you know, the curtain call is happening. And I'm like, wait. Where's my Greek tragedy? Where's the whole mental torment of Hercules having to go into hell to rescue Meg and almost die in the process? There was none of that internal conflict, none of that grieving when he thinks she's died. It was over in like 2 minutes. It was a really fun show. The set was gorgeous, the performers were amazing, given the material that they had. And, you know, everyone was very high energy. I did have fun. I wasn't, like, bored or annoyed throughout the performance. These are just my final thoughts, having processed it a bit more in my brain. My final note is on the costumes. They were very hit or miss. Some costumes were absolutely gorgeous, like the Muse's costumes or Meg's costume. What was going on with Hercules' mesh shirt? It's not very Grecian. I don't know. It was interesting. The costumes were interesting. I said this in my interval segment that it's Greek in the way that Bridgerton is Regency. It's kind of a modern twist on the costumes. Don't know if that entirely worked for a production that presented itself as something serious. I feel like if it was a pantomime, the costumes would fit it a lot better. Just make it a pantomime, Disney. I think that's just what it needs. Give Phil goat legs, bring back Pain and Panic, and make it a panto. So before I talk about the mincemeat cast, I do want to say that the cast board was actually wrong for our performance, but only for one person. It wasn't Jerry Allen as Johnny Bevan, it was Chloe Hart. I absolutely love Chloe Hart to bits. She is hilarious. But the new people I saw, Peter McGovern as Charlie, Danny Becker as Hester and others, and Rashani Abbey as Jean Leslie. These guys are great. Honestly, whichever 5 performers you get in Mincemeat, it's gonna be a good time. I love this show so much, and I really need to go more because it's in my top 3. It goes like Back to the Future, Book of Mormon, Operation Mincemeat. It's just such a fun show, and Will had a great time. But let's talk about these actors individually, just so I can talk about their performances a little bit and what I loved about them. Peter's version of Dead in the Water was heartbreaking. Now obviously Charles is a very timid man. He's worked at MI5 for 6 years, and Monty doesn't even know he even exists. He's very shy, he appears to be very helpless, he's not, but he appears to be, and I feel like that convinces him that he is. And he honestly just wants to do good. The line that broke my heart the most in the way that he delivered it was, "They wouldn't let me fly," because that's what he wanted to do, but due to his vision, he can't. So yeah, overall I think he played the character a bit more tragically than funny. Obviously, he was still hilarious, like all of his new comments, and Dead in the Water is a really funny song. I just really loved how he made the vibe a little bit more somber than most. And yeah, I just love this take on him, and his relationship on stage with Maddie playing Monty was chef's kiss. The two of them, wonderful. I loved them so much. And yeah, he was just a really great guy, and he's a really sweet guy as well, and obviously, you know, when he's playing the other characters, the contrast is there, everything is just perfect. I love the tragic version of Charles, if you will, and I really can't wait to see him again because he was just so good. Danny Becker as Hester. Are we even surprised if I say that Dear Bill made me cry again? It always does. It's such a gorgeous song. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where that song doesn't make me bawl my eyes out. Obviously Hester's very prim, she's very proper. She's also very damaged from having lived through a war already, losing her husband in the process as well. So she's quite strong-willed and she doesn't really back down from anything. And Jean is the person that helps her break out of that cycle and just be herself again. And Roshani was incredible. Their on-stage relationship as Jean and Hester was so beautiful. I love it. Woman supporting woman and all that, you know. And Useful is one of my favourite songs in the entire show, and these two absolutely killed it. Roshani was very smart, witty, funny. She's an independent woman, and I just really loved her. And All the Ladies is such a great song. Just this whole cast, with Maddie and Chloe included, were incredible. They were so funny. And I really, with this show, it's a toss-up. I always find that you always get a different cast, and every single time they're just so witty and hilarious, and it's such a witty and hilarious show. I just love these guys so much. Roshani was great, Danny was great, Peter was great, Chloe was great, Maddie was great. Like, it's just an amazing show, and I love it so much. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the new Mincemeat people that I haven't seen yet. They're not like brand new, but I just haven't seen the show in a while. So those are my thoughts on that. In the next video, it's going to be a lot of Back to the Future. A lot of Back to the Future. You know why? Because I'm trying to maximise the times I can go to Back to the Future before it closes on April 12th. Because it's closing in like 2 weeks from when I'm filming this today. So yeah, in the next video, there might be 3 trips of Back to the Future crammed in. And then probably, and very sadly, my video after that will be the final time I see Back to the Future the musical on the West End. So it's going to be a very somber 2 videos, but I do hope you enjoy them, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.